Magazine.
Hello once again. I am your host. Hey, where's that? Get that out of here.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was like,
Come on. Hey, how you doing? I am your host, Doc Rodden, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest streaming and video on demand horror movies. Each week, my co-host Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we're reviewing Night at Eagle End, which is debuting this August at the Popcorn Frights Film Festival. Looking forward to talking about this film as it debuts this fall, or this late summer, I guess I should say. So awesome. What we're going to do is introduce the crew. Jeff Mohr, how you doing, sir?
I'm good.
oh boy.
I'm not saying.
What?
What? Yeah.
What?
No,
Well, I hate
gotta.
it. I just hate it when you can check in, but you can never check out.
No.
I just hate that
Welcome to the hotel.
Oh wait,
California.
All right.
I'm doing good. Thanks.
Also joining us is Crystal Cleveland, the Livinodeadóirl. How you doing, Crystal?
Oh man, see, he decides to bring it, and then I'm out.
Yeah, I know. He did that, and I immediately went to Roach Motel, and you go to Hotel California. One wins, one loses, and I'm on the bad end of that stick. So congratulations to you, because I'd rather have champagne on ice, right? So anyway,
You can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. That's
yeah,
fine.
that's right.
No,
That's right.
no.
All right, what we're going to do is give our first impressions of the film Night at Eagle End. Then we're going, that'll be spoiler free. And in fact, since this movie is just debuting in film festivals, this will all be spoiler free. We will discuss the film a little bit as we can. And it's going to be really hard not to spoil some things, especially.
Oh no! I think you don't want to spoil that.
No, you don't. You don't. So there's. Anyway, and then we'll wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. All right, what film are we talking about? What's this Night at the Eagle End? It is, again, screening between August 16th and the 19th at Popcorn Frights Film Festival. Check that out. Written and directed by Eric Bloomquist, along with Carson Bloomquist. The cast includes Amelia Dudley, Taylor Turner, Beau Minier, and Greg Schwiers.
Yeah.
Schwiers. That is right?
Schwiers.
I'd say so.
Sure.
Schwiers.
Yeah.
All right. Synopsis. Fraternal twins, Spencer and Sarah Moss, embark on a pilgrimage to a remote Vermont inn to investigate the last known whereabouts of their father, who mysteriously disappeared the night they were born. Once checked in, the uncanny innkeeper and the enigmatic groundsman guide the twins through the institution's tragic and terrifying history. No one's to leave any stone unturned. Spencer and Sarah go rogue and dive deeper, their exploration leading to a shocking revelations as the property's dark secrets ensnare them in a hellish labyrinth they must escape before dawn. I need music when I read this. That's a dramatic synopsis.
Yes, there needs to be a Blair, kind of a crescendo.
There does. All right, so that's the plot, and we will not give away anything more than that, I hope. That's our goal. All right, so let's dive into our first impressions. Up first is the one and only Jeff Mohr.
Okay, so again, this was a fun watch. The story wasn't real unique, I guess, to me. But I liked the way that it was played out. I liked the acting. I especially liked Greg Schwiers as the night manager. I thought he was great. And a few other ones. Beau Minier as Dean, who was kind of the maintenance guy there. And
the maintenance guy.
The two twins who are there to investigate and find out some things about their parents. So there's some creepy stuff in here and some weird stuff. But right from the beginning, you're kind of like going, what? So I thought it was well shot. I liked the way it was done. I don't know. I can't think of anything to say without giving something away other than, yeah, and had a nice twist at the end.
Nice twist at the end. A little pop that the film needs, yes. All right. Crystal Cleveland, you're up next. What is your first impression of Night at Eagle Inn?
Okay. So first, let me say I really love the way this movie was shot as well. I kind of like the muted color grading that they did on it too. Those kind of cooler tones, but it felt a little warm too. I don't know. I just like the whole look of it. I like the location, and I freaking loved the acting, and I loved the actors. I just can't stress how good of a job I think that they did, and how authentic they were, and how I guess that they could have gone too far or over the top, but they kept it authentic. I think that the script writing was really, really good with dialogue. Like, there were moments where I was like, yes, finally, that's what someone would say in that situation. Like when she needs to go get something from the car, and the innkeeper is like, and the brother's like, she said it was personal. Like, yeah, that's what I would say. Get off my nuts, dude. Like, none of your business. So I really appreciated that. I agree with Jeff. I think that the story doesn't break any like new creative way, but the way it's told is kind of creative. I still found it super enjoyable, and I liked the way that they showed you what was going down, and who people were. I thought that was really good. And he was just the acting. Really, the acting made this for me. I was watching this and I was like, oh, that was really good. That was so good, so good. It's a little trippy, a little hard to understand at points, because it's meant to be, because they're kind of going. It's kind of like I guess it's not what it is, but I'm going to say it's like a haunted type hotel. Even though, is it? I don't know. Is it not? Oh, you don't know. You have to find out. But it gives you that sort of vibe to it. Now, there is one thing that they did in this movie that almost made me hate everyone that made this movie.
No.
I'll talk about that later. But I really enjoyed the movie. So, go ahead.
I think this kind of has a cross between Twilight Zone and soap opera feel for the first bit of it.
Oh,
because we have our twins, fraternal twins, and I think the chemistry between them was great. They totally so sold that they're brother and sister, and the whole thing about that they're there and they're actually investigating. It gives it some purpose, and they're recording their thoughts and stuff. You get into the meat of the story really quickly with them getting there, and of course things are weird from the onset, and but it's not like a slow burn like what am I thinking of, like the Innkeepers. It's not that kind of slow burn. It's a different kind of slow burn, and the house, it certainly feels like it's a haunting kind of film that you're going through, and whether or not is part of the surprise. But I think, like you said, the core actors, the four actors that we have, and there's a few others involved, including Eric himself, Eric Bloomquist, the director, plays the father. They're really strong in interacting. I mean, the chemistry between Beau Minier and the twins, Amelia Dudley and Taylor Turner, is strong in both directions, which I like that they played that angle. The flirting that was going on, and it was almost like not a complete triangle, because that would be weird. But
I didn't feel like it was I didn't feel like it was a triangle at all.
Well, she wasn't, but he was. He was flirting with her. But anyway, let's don't get lost in that. but let's just say Spencer was definitely flirting with Dean.
Yeah.
And like I said, the dialogue was natural. Now, I will confess that the first 30 minutes had me a little concerned. I was like,
really?
Is this going anywhere? And I am happy to say that the middle 30 is great, and then the last 30 is fantastic. I loved the finale of this film. It absolutely sold me on the ending, and really, really loved how everything came together, because it made what I was questioning at the beginning all come together, right? And it was, every character, well, yeah, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say every character slightly changed at the end of the film. And I really liked that. I really liked what happened there and how things came about. And totally made the film for me. I really loved it. Let's take a walk around the property, shall we?
Oh, that's really interesting.
Why is that?
That's so interesting because for me, like, that part of the story was just I mean, it was okay, no problem. It fulfilled its little bargain, so to speak.
Oh, you're talking about the very finale. You're talking about.
No, I'm just talking about the whole
epilogue?
thing. Like, I didn't feel like at the beginning that I was at all worried about this. The whole movie made me feel a little uneasy. Mm-hmm. So it's usually the opposite with me. Like with this, I'm like, oh, it was boring. No, it wasn't boring to me. I really liked the whole thing.
Well, I think,
and that's so weird for me. Is it? Well, yeah. Usually it's we're reversed. Like, mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, it's a slow burn. No, I didn't feel like that. For some reason, the whole movie made me feel. Well, the innkeeper.
Well, how they set it up with the narcolepsy right at the beginning. That's what gave me that feeling of unease to start with, and then mm-hmm. the innkeeper. Or the night manager, I should say, not to confuse it with other films. So,
Greg Schweerd. I think what was kind of pulling me out of it, and when I say this, it's really in a nitpicky kind of way, not in a true. It's just that the experiences that the brother and the sister were having during a certain section of the film were so mm-hmm. isolated to themselves that. I guess I was enjoying them together so much that when they spent so much time apart, I was losing interest.
That's interesting. So, I did enjoy them together.
Yeah. So once they came back together, and of course the story took off after that, right? So everything was kind of in full boil by that time. It just seemed like things. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not. Okay, so I'm overselling the fact of how much I'm nitpicking about this, and I don't mean to be, because at the same time
that's your job.
Yeah, but I really love these characters. I love the actors as well. But yeah, a little bit of a dip right then.
No, that's the point. Like, don't review movies if you're not willing to, mm-hmm. kind of say what you really feel. That's what I say. And like I said, the one thing about this movie that almost made me hate is I have sensory issues, really, with different things, and the high-pitched sounds. No, it was so bad I almost turned the movie off and said I'm not going to watch anymore. But luckily it didn't last that long. I muted it and then turned it back on and muted it and turned it back on until it was over. It's so bad. Like, that's almost to the point where it's going to make me have a meltdown. That's how high-pitched it was and how much it bothered me.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Well, much like people who have issues with flashing
like strobe lights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For me, I have sensory issues, and sound is a big one. And so these big high-pitched sounds are, I'm so glad that we're kind of like getting away from that. But they have a long, really high-pitched sound. This one part, and I was like, hate. But we got past it, and now I forgive them for that. But I really,
sending them flowers.
Yeah, I really would advise filmmakers to stop that, because it's really, I guess it really messes with me, and I'm sure I'm not the only person in the world. Considering,
since they actually have sensory theaters, so it's definitely a thing. I really like Beau Minier's performance here. He plays the Dean. He plays the what? How do we describe him? He's the
caretaker,
the handyman or caretaker.
Yeah.
He was intriguing and
kind of sexy, but not.
Yeah, it's kind of, but he was mysterious, but yet innocent at first, and then so I liked the way he played off the two twins, right? I just really enjoyed that, and then I also enjoyed that at some point that there's a true immediate urgent objective, and that urgency to get a certain object really amped the film up for me too. So that's about the point that I was like, okay, I'm all in now. I really like this movie, and from then on, I was totally in.
Well, I was, you talked about them. You didn't like it as much when they were separated towards the beginning. Is that?
Yeah, he was off in the bar, and she was.
Yeah, well, that's what that bothered me a little bit, because I kept, right away I'm thinking, it's a horror movie. No, don't separate.
No, well, that too. Yeah,
stick together. But
they don't know
they weren't in a
situation
movie yet where they knew that yet, right? So it wasn't quite that bad that they wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, I didn't.
But then later, when they do separate, that makes sense. Right.
Of course. So they had to
plan,
be able to pull it off. And that's why that's what I'm saying. I think totally, Jeff, like it made sense to me. As long as you can make it make sense, I'll buy doing maybe stupid things, as long as like he said, it made sense for them to divide and conquer. That's what they were doing.
Yep. Well, they were, like I said, there was a goal, there was an urgency at that point, and it really it gave the film some gas at that time. So, wow, that didn't come out right. You know what I mean? Go with what I mean.
Some energy. Some energy.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Let's give our final thoughts on that note. Our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. If we can pick a favorite scene that doesn't spoil it, that's going to be hard. But before we do, if you're still listening, we want to thank you for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoy this review and many others that we have on the site. And if you want to help us out, it's really easy and free to do. You hit the subscribe button down below, or you share with a friend. Both things will do fantastic. You can hit the like button too if you like, or the dislike. I don't care.
Yeah, either way.
The like button's better. But leave us some comments down below if you saw the film at Popcorn Frights. We'd love to hear your thoughts on it down below. Yeah. Again, try not to spoil it. We'll try not to. You try not to as well. And let's get to it. Jeff, I believe, sir, you were up first. What's your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene?
Yeah, well, overall, this is a good movie, and it's a good follow-up. We were talking offline a little bit that the last film that Eric Bloomquist did, I think, or the Bloomquist, was 10 to Midnight, that we reviewed about a year ago, I think. And this is a good follow-up, I think. So yeah, good acting, well shot, very atmospheric. Surprises, etc. And I'm going to give this a 3.5.
Okay.
And my favorite scene, I don't think this will give anything away, but I have a thing about TVs, movies that have well, and it actually, I don't think it comes from that, but maybe it does. I don't know. But anyway, when anytime that they're in the hotel room and the TV is on and they're getting like messages from it, that stuff just makes my skin crawl. It just creeps the crap out of me. And it was well done, I thought. So
yeah, I liked it when it looked like they were like zoning out, and it was a Spencer character like stopped and shook his head. Anyway, yes, I agree with you. Crystal, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, and favorite scene.
Okay, so yeah, those like scenes kind of remind me of The Ring, Jeff.
Ooh.
Like, when she had her video. Nice. I love that.
Yep.
That's one of the
yeah, any movie like that with the video that's if you watch it, you're dead. So I'm in. You know,
I like it too, and I'm a sucker for that.
and that
But it
wasn't
did kind of remind me of that. It's
right.
not like that, but
not
it
like
does
that.
have that kind of feel. Yeah, I'm with you. I felt the same way. And see, once again, I just think they did such a good job on this. Like I said, like it's odd that the story is honestly the weakest part of this movie for me. It's usually always the other way around. It's always the story that's the problem. But I think it was done so well. That's a good thing.
I think the shell of the story is a bit cliched, but the way it's told and the internal workings is unique.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm also giving it a 3.5. My favorite scene is easily it's the fight between Dean and the innkeeper. It was so funny. It was cute. No.
Yes. Okay, I'll dive in with mine now. I enjoyed this film. It's for me, it's about the characters and the location. The location plays a big part in this. It's a really beautiful location, and the actors really keep you going in this. It's really well cast, and I think Eric Bloomquist is definitely a actor's director because he really brings out great performances.
I loved it. Caroline in it
really brings out great performances as actors, and it does here as well. To me, I think I'm having the same issues. Kind of the story, is a little familiar, right? I mean,
yeah, that's a good way to say it.
It's like we've done this, but it is done in a unique and interesting way, and there's elements at the around the twist and before the twist, actually, once they're after this object that I was totally sold. So I'm going to give it 3.5 as well. I think that's actually a really good score. I think we really loved 10 Minutes to Midnight, right?
Oh,
10 Minutes to Midnight.
And that is, if you haven't seen that film, check that out. And I really like Long Lost as well that he did, and I would recommend that. I think it's playing on some streaming services now as well. So
I have to check that out.
Me too.
It'll be interesting to see how this director's career continues to climb. So good stuff.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You finish.
Okay, I got it. Well, I got my favorite scene. So my favorite scene is taking off the shirt.
Oh yeah, I loved that. I loved the way that they showed it. It was so obvious.
Right.
I mean, I love things like that. That's what I'm saying. It's like that was so perfect. I wish more people would tell their stories like this.
No.
Because like I said, the overall story was but it was done so well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I said that we reviewed 10 Minutes to Midnight about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
The review actually went live on August 15th, 2020.
Oh, almost
exactly.
Wow.
That's about as close to a year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that, when this one actually goes live, it will be. So, wow.
Yep. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Hopefully he'll do something every year.
I think that might be every director's
That might be the plan, yeah.
Well, that might be, I think that's totally doable. It's totally possible.
Well, I'm thankfully I have the internet right here in front of me, and he has a film called She Came from the Woods that is being filmed right now that's supposed to come out next year.
See?
Yeah.
So he does he only do horror? That's so hot.
Oh, wow. William Sadler's in it. Cool. That's going to be fun. No, there's a film he did between Night and She Came, and it's called Christmas on the Carousel. So I don't think that one.
Wait a second, though. Is that like a Hallmark movie? Because I could totally get it.
It could well be. Family and romance. So.
Yes! Oh my gosh. I'm so broken. It's like either horror or a Hallmark. And it better be the Hallmark like Christmas movie. I don't know. It's so weird. What's wrong with me?
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Well, there you go. There's our review of Night at the Eagle Inn. It'll be in festivals, I would imagine, throughout the end of 2021 and into 2022, and then most likely going to a streaming service. I would imagine Shudder picking this up. It'd be a perfect Shudder film.
Oh yeah, I could see it.
And it
totally.
really play. It's a really good festival film as well. You know, it has that festival vibe to it.
Yeah.
There, I don't know if if you're out there and you've gone to festival, there's films that really have that festival feeling, and then there's films that want to be in general theaters, right? That don't really have that festival vibe. But that doesn't. At the same time, it means nothing about whether they're good or bad. There's this.
He's like, yeah, I'm totally gonna explain this to you guys.
I totally confused everyone. All right. Jeff, Crystal, thank you for joining me tonight.
I love you.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right, let's say goodnight.
And there's nothing wrong with you, Crystal. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah, nothing.
Look out! Good night.